What is up, YouTube? My name is James and I'm bringing you guys a brand new video here today. And today I'm going to be making a video on how to edit harsh/bland sunlight photos. When you're in the middle of the day shooting portraits, or maybe you don't know because you never shoot in the middle of the day, because sometimes people think that's dumb. And the sun's just so harsh and the highlights come so strong on one side of the face, or just like the whole face, and it's just really bad, or it's just super bland because the harsh sunlight blows out all the colors because it's just so bright. Well, that happens to me all the time, and I finally found a way to really work with it and make those harsh sunlight photos really nice and really beautiful. We're going to be editing two photos today. Both the models that are in the photos, Instagrams will be linked in the description below, as well as the raw file will be in the description below, available for you to download through Dropbox. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments section down below. I respond to every single comment, every single video, so be sure to ask away, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know which kind of videos you want to see in the comments down below for next time. And as you guys, my name is James. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Fuck you. Okay, so here are the two photos we're going to be editing today. It's this first one here of my friend Gregory here. I started working with him a month or two ago, and it's been awesome ever since. He's one of my favorite male models to work with, and he's just absolutely awesome. You can follow him in the description below. His Instagram will be linked. And here is the second photo here of my friend James. He's also another model that I work with. He actually has a fashion blog, so we do some work for that. Wow, I'm keeping that in there. That was one of my worst voice cracks I've ever had in my life. Oh my god. Okay, we're good. So, both these photos have some pretty harsh, just bad lighting outside, in the middle of the fucking day. So, we're going to be working on how to actually make these photos into great photos. So, here I'm going to show you the final versions of them here. The edited final versions. This first one is of Gregory. It's a black and white. And the second one is James here. And while you see some harsh sunlight, I think it works pretty well. With this first photo here, we're going to be editing this one second because I want to explain what I'm going to do for this first photo first. So let's get straight into this here. Let's get to our develop module, and let's start just talk about this photo. Okay, so as you can see here, the whole left side of his face here, the left side of his arm, and the left side of his leg is all very bright sunlight. And that's kind of a problem because the rest of the photo is pretty much darker. It's very dark compared to what the rest of the side of his face and his arm and his leg here. And the background is still pretty well exposed as well. If you don't know this already, highlights are very hard to recover. Bright highlights are the hardest thing to recover. Shadows, darkness is always easier to recover over highlights. So instead of making this darker, we're going to try to make everything brighter except for this. Let's get straight into this here. The first thing that I want to accomplish here is just mess with the temperature a little bit. I want to make it a bit warmer here. So I'm going to bump this up to around 60, 100-ish, just like that, and make it more warmer because I want to show off that it's daylight, it's warm in the photo, and all that. Get the flowers blooming in the background. Purple flowers, this green tree. It looks like summertime, so we're going to go with it. Next to the tints, we're going to bump that up to about 14. Make it, again, more purpley and all that. So next, we're going to go to contrast. Bump that up to a 64. Get that contrast. So now you see the difference that makes. If you put that back to 0, you can see how crazy of a difference that is. Just like that. That one little slider makes so much difference. It makes the separation between lights and darks very much more apparent. And while that's not a good thing, it's needed for this photo because contrast for these photos are very important to me, at least. Next, for the highlights, we're going to bump those to a negative 38. Try to get rid of some of the lightness here. As you can see, it got a little darker. You put it back to 0. It got a bit darker, and that's a good thing. Now we are lowering the amount of difference between light and dark in his face. Next is the shadows. We're going to bump those to around a 32. Try to get everything else brighter. Everything that's not his face and his highlights, the background here, brighter. and that's just because it just looks cool with the whites up. It's just an effect that I like. When everything comes full circle, it makes a big difference. And next, the blacks, we're gonna bump this over around 25, just like that. And again, get those blacks, get those dark spots more brighter. And next, clarity, -11. More clarity we get together, and plus I like low clarity in my photos. Next, the vibrance -14, and that has nothing to do with the colors. I just think it looks nice. And the saturation +23. Get a little more color in here. The tone curve isn't necessarily going to make things better, but it will make things look a lot better. So, just overall with the picture. So we're going to bring this first point about right here. That looks about right. The second point is going to go around like right here. And our third point is going to go right around, let's say, right there. Now, with this third point, we can kind of do a lot with it. If you want, we can bring it all the way up here and increase the highlights a lot. Go up here more, increase the highlights here, increase the whites here, if we do something like that. Or we can bring it down like that, or go over here and bring it just slightly down and decrease those highlights severely. But I think both of those are very extreme, so we're gonna bring this around right here, because I think that's like the perfect medium, like right there. And so next thing we're gonna do here is go down to our HSL, and we got some work to do here. A lot of the colors need to change. So the first thing we're gonna do here is bump the yellows from -30ish, 33, wherever, like right there. Get those more orange, and then our blues are gonna be around a -38 as well, like right around here. Make them a little more cyan. Next is our purples. We're gonna be bumping our purples to be much more like reddish. So our purples will be much like around 59ish, 57ish, and then our magentas will be around 100. So just like that. And it's going to make the picture a little more red. You can't really see it that much, but it does make a difference. So, now the saturations, we're going to bring our reds to around +33. Our greens to around -37. And our purples and magentas to around +27. So, just right around here. And that's to be a little more saturated photo. Bring those greens down, because I hate when the greens are too saturated in photos. So, I like the whole like -37 greens. I think it looks good. Next, for our luminescence, we're bringing everything to around +19, because I think everything needs a little luminance. I just think, honestly, again, I still don't know why. I'm telling you that you should do it, but I still don't even know why. So next video, I promise to have some kind of explanation of why I bump the luminances up. Every photo, I just like the look it gives, whether it's apparent or not. I like it a lot. Next, for the highlights, we're gonna be bumping up our hue for our highlights to our 232 and a saturation of 22, which is like a bluish hue. So around right here-ish, right there, and it's around a 22, which is around right here. And just like that. Now it makes the picture more blue, and I like that look a lot. I was gonna bump the shadows up a little bit, mess with those, but I didn't like how it looked, so I didn't do it. Next thing we got here is vignetting. Brought that to like a -7. For this tutorial, I'm about to show you guys profile corrections, because we have different cameras, so and all that. So I'm not gonna like mess with that at all. And then next thing here is our brush. We have one little brush here just to help a little bit with just the separation between light and dark. So pretty much what we're going to be doing here is taking all the things that are like a shadow and making it just a little brighter. So we're going to take this shoe here, just like that, and then his body right here. Just brush all of that all the way up to where the highlight starts right here, and bump that up to around a 0.37 exposure. 0.37, there we go. And it makes it a little brighter, up the shadows a little bit. And I think that's how we're gonna deal with this very harsh daylight photo. I think it came out very well compared to what it was before. Um, we're gonna go into the crop little mode here and just crop it a little bit to make sure it's straight. It doesn't seem perfect, but I think that's good enough. Just like that. And let's go back to our library here and go to the other photo and compare them side by side. Right there. Pretty similar photos. This is the I honestly can't even tell which one we just edited. I'm gonna guess and say that it's this one because this one's farther back and this one's closer up. This is the older one. This is the new one we just took. And as you can see, it's a very, very similar photo. The only difference I see is like a little more saturation in his face here, which I don't know what happened. But overall here, you can see that this is the before. It's a very, very very cool toned photo. The daylight, harsh like daylight sun is very very apparent and just doesn't look good at all. And then we edited it all up, and I think that the final version came out very, very nice. I think the harsh daylight works very, very well with this photo. I think it gives it a lot of like a character. It makes it super moody, and I just think it works super well. So that's this photo right here. Now let's move on to the second one, which I'm not gonna go very, very in depth in at all. It's gonna be a 1, 2, 3, like just to show you what you can do to deal with the harsh sunlight. So now with this photo here, it's very, very bland because I turned down the exposure very, very low in camera. I exposed it very, very low because I know that I can recover the brightness, but if the highlights were too high, it'd be hard to recover detail. So this is what it would look like if it was properly exposed. That's what the sunlight really looked like. It was very, very bland and just no bueno. Okay, so what we're gonna do here to make sure this photo is just completely just turn around is turn it into a black and white. Now what a black and white does is it gets rid of that blandness. Now look at that now. Compared to the color, it looks so much better because those colors are so bland, so gross, and when it's a black and white, it just looks so much better. So we're gonna go straight into this black and white. First thing we're gonna do here is lower the temperature to around 3700, just like so. Next, we're upping the contrast to plus 100. Really get that separation, really make it really like just very contrasty, and I think it looks awesome like that. Lower the highlights to around a negative 36, just like so. Shadows plus 51. Now we're gonna recover that darkness in the in all the corners of the photo, and the whites plus 45. Get that more like that brightness, that harsh sunlight on his skin, and blacks plus 5. Just a little modification right there. Next, clarity needs to be plus 28. Normally a lower clarity, but I think in this photo, a high clarity really works, just like so. Next thing we're going to do is go to the tone curve here, and the tone curve is going to be a pretty easygoing tone curve. And so first point we're going to make is going to go like right there. Second point is going to go about right here, and our third point is going to go right there. So right we have it, just a nice little easygoing tone curve. And that's pretty much it for the photo, except for some vignetting that I did. We're going to vignetting, make that like a negative 14, just like that. And I think we're pretty much done, except for just one little brush on his face. So now we're going to take a brush, and we're going to just go over his face just a little bit, and up the exposure just a little bit. So just like this, just like that. And we're going to be upping the exposure to 0.10. And our shadows to 31. So we're going to make this 0.1 right here, and our shadows a 31. And just open up the brightness on his face, and there we have it. This is finished, except for one last thing right here. I just want to crop it in. That's the last thing we have to do because it's too much dead space in the photo, and I want it to be closer. I don't like his pants that much, so I want to just bring it way close. Just like that, and then bring this up more right here, just like that. We're gonna hit close, and bam, we have a done picture. So now real quick, I made this color. As you can see, it's still pretty gross, but like those the sun is very apparent. I think I think the edit was very good for a black and white. So we're gonna go to our original here and compare them. As you can see, very little difference in the photos here. I can't really tell honestly, but I think that they both came out really well. And if we go back to the original photo right here, and go back to this and compare the before and after, I think we can really see like how big of a difference it really was. So just like that, before, after, before, after. And I think that's really cool, like how big of an effect just making it black and white had. So if you ever have any dark, harsh daylight photos that you, or these bland daylight photos you want to make cool, turn into a black and white, see what happens. I think black and white can be really cool sometimes. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see next. I'm gonna be trying to post more. I keep saying that. My second time posting in like 4 or 5 days. I think it's pretty good. We're trying to get more into like real life stuff soon, hopefully, once I work out Premiere Pro better, because I'm still not very good at it. And lastly, guys, my name's James. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.